Yeah, mate, we got hards on. We're going to the end.
Mr. Stark. Mr. Stark, I got to wave the flag, Mr. Stark. I got to wave the checkered flag at the Grand Prix, at the Monaco Grand Prix, Mr. Stark. I don't want to go. Spider-Man waved the checkered flag at the Monaco Grand Prix, and up until probably lap 50, that maybe would have been the most interesting thing that happens. But no, Monaco did finally come good towards the end, which does happen. You know, it can happen. It does. It's been prone to happen. And rain, it managed to spice things up enough where it made it fun. Not too much where it just killed the thing. But honestly, rain is only really like gonna ruin a race if it's happening before the race and it just drowns it out. It was fun. It was fun. I guess the only thing is if it went really heavy and then brought in wet, so there was more people crashing because a lot of people sliding off, a lot of people hitting the wall. Not of a lot of people, no safety cars or anything like that. We'll go through qualifying, which people going on was the best thing since sliced bread. Was that? Yeah, was going on that was the best thing since sliced bread. Then the race rundown, and then the fucking awards. What am I? I haven't done this anymore, so I'm a little bit clueless. But you know, I guess that's on brand. Hards on. That's what this is called. Fucking hell, we got the hards on. We're going to the end. And a lot of people did. I mean, Perez tried that. Obviously, didn't work. But you know, get the hards on, go to the end. And obviously, we say it as a more of a sort of fucking what's the word, innuendo type thing because we got great. Anyway, let's just get into the race. I don't like what I'm doing right now. I don't like this sort of vibe I got going on. In terms of qualifying, everyone was saying it was so exciting, it was so fun. But at the end of the day, Verstappen was on pole and Alonso wasn't. And, you know, we've seen this 100 times before. Leclerc gets grid penalty. You know, more despair for him with the whole Monaco thing. And he not that he was going to be on pole anyway, but, you know, he would have been above Ocon, right? Which, you know, I mean, I would have rather Leclerc finished on pole, not on pole, with a podium today over Ocon because obviously, as you know, I'm a Ocon, and I don't like Ocon. Why? I don't know. Not liking any driver is sort of irrational unless there's some kind of fucking, you know, just crazy bad person. You know, so hating any driver is just gonna be an irrational thing. So I irrationally don't like Ocon. I never have, never will. I don't know. Most likely, let's be real. Maybe if he changes that sort of Legoland trim, but I can't really speak. I've got a hood up for a reason. But you know, just never really liked his whoop-de-doo energy. But you know, here we go. So look, the basics that needed to be done. The only thing that could have been better for me maybe is if Lando did a bit better in Q3, but he seemed to have a bit of an issue. Obviously, he broke the car a little bit in Q2. Hamilton was above Russell though, which is always important to me. Outqualified Russell this week. Russell didn't have his best week. Let's be real. And probably if it's good. What made it exciting is because you know Verstappen was two tenths down going into the final sector, and then he manages to like basically fucking have it on rails. Which I love that phrase. I love when they say that. He's got it on rails because there's just certain phrases in certain bits of commentary that just like really paint like the picture in your head just by like simple words. Like when whoever it is, Brundle, fucking Croft, whichever little fucking I don't know the commentators by voices, right? But whoever it is, he's up there and he's always like he says this so many times. He's like, well, if you want to know what being in a Formula One car's like, just sort of imagine yourself. And sometimes he's stumbling over it, so I'm getting it out clearly. He said it so many times. Just imagine yourself sort of lying back on your back in a bathtub, you know, going down a hill looking for a letterbox, and that's what it's like. And it's like, sure. I mean, I feel like trying to imagine what being in a Formula One car is like. I don't need this long, convoluted description. I can imagine being in a fast car low to the ground. Like, I get it. Like, I don't need this whole bathtub looking for a letterbox. Like, I get it, you got a helmet. Like, you could just say, imagine being in a fast car with a helmet. Like, I've looked for, you know, like, that's just like a long way. Like, I get it. It's kind of cool, whatever. Maybe the first time you heard of it. It just doesn't do it from the same way as the simplicity of he's got it on rails. Because it's just like it just paints it so I don't know why, and he literally did in that. And to be fair, I just feel like that's one of those moments where if you like Verstappen or don't like Verstappen, you're just in that moment. You're kind of like, oh, like that is like a oh, like kind of moment. Just like it's like if you like Ronaldo, don't like Ronaldo. If you like LeBron, I don't like LeBron. I don't really know basketball. I don't know why I've delved into this sort of arena here. But like if Ronaldo chops someone and like breaks their ankles, or LeBron like crosses someone over, I don't know basketball. What am I doing? I'm drowning. But you know he breaks someone's ankles in basketball. If you like him or not, you're gonna be like, okay, no, that was cold. And like to be 2 attempts down and to cross the line, put it on pole with like the best final sector, like. And they have this cool like race comparison graphic thing now, which is cool. It's something I like about F1 is they're always trying to like change the rules to make the sport more exciting and like new like camera like this time we got a drone, this time we got like in camera helmet cameras, this time we got cameras on the side, this time we got fucking like this side by side thing. It's just cool, and it feels like the changes are always for good intention and like entertainment, like the whole Sky Channel you can ride along with a driver and stuff. It feels like sometimes the changes they want to make to sports like football just seem dumb, or like maybe for worse reasons like money or something. And money's probably a factor here, but like, they are cool. And it's like you just visualize it really well, like the way they do it before and the way they still were doing it, because they do it this way. They can't get they're not gonna get rid of that guy. He's doing his job. But like when they get the thing, like sometimes. What's his name? I was about to say sound so racist by what I was going to call him, because I was going to be like Raboon Shandok. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, man. And I was about to say that, just sort of, yeah, it's about right. What is his name? I don't know. He's a very good pundit though. The Asian guy. You get the gist, right? And he stands in front of his little screen, and he's like, "Zoom in there. Look at the." Why am I doing an accent? Okay, I'm in deep water here. And he's doing the things like he's doing the little circle things like zoom in, like look at this apex. Look at where Verstappen's car is, a little bit closer to the barrier, isn't he? Look at where Alonso's car is. You probably can't see it with the naked eye. He's a little bit behind. That's about a tenth. But then if you get to the next sector, look at where Alonso's car is now. He's a bit further, and it's just like, yeah, this is just long. When you can just watch this like little 1 minute and a half thing of like the cars going around, it's like, oh, this is where he was catching, was behind all this way, and in the last sector he just did this corner, that corner, and all of a sudden he's the front. It was captivating. It was quick. It was concise, and it was. Look at me, TikTok generation. I can't say around for more than half in 30 seconds, but it was quick. It was concise, and it was fucking. It paints the picture well, especially for someone who doesn't really understand what the fuck's going on in Formula 1. The cars, what the fuck is a side pod, fucking chassis and shit. Like, they go fast, the driver's cool, whoa. That's all really, really here for. The drama and that. I'd rate the qualifying though. It's good if qualifying can be. It was exciting, I guess, to say the least. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. The race. Oh my god, this was on track to get like a 3 out of 10. I mean, I don't really typically rate the races, but it was on track to be low. But I was thinking I was basically over, but then all of a sudden the rain came through and I was like, wait, no, it's not basically over. We still got like 20 laps. So I don't know why I thought it was going to be done in a minute. But it goes long, goes hard, and the race, like I said, the first 50 laps, I couldn't tell you what happened. And one thing I will say is, as nice as it was to have that excitement, it didn't really... The reason I wouldn't say like the race was really anything special is because it didn't end up affecting a whole lot. Like there was like, oh my god, who's gonna pit? Is it right to pit? Oh my god, Alonso's came in first, but he's put on more slicks. Now Verstappen's coming in, and these guys came in first as the guinea pigs, and they got the intermediates. And now Hamilton's in, and Russell's out, but Russell went into the thing, and Snow's in the back, and it's like all of these things happened. But then out of the end of it, the order was still basically the same. Like, no one massively lost out or gained. Like, yes, Hamilton, like, Ferrari gained a couple and Hamilton got up a couple. And, like, so, like, it's just, like, nothing really changed, really. Like, not enough. Like, if something that happens, you want it to flip the script in the sense that I don't even like Ocon, really, like I said. But all of a sudden, Ocon's now in the lead because Alonso fucked up with the wrong tyres. They left Max out, wrong strategy. Ocon's team made the right decision, and now he's so far ahead. And it's like in Monaco, he can just park it in front of him. Bullets in the wet, and is a more experienced driver going to force him into an error? And it's like you kind of got something more fun going on there. So that's maybe the one thing I'd say. But ultimately, I was worried because I was like, no, Hamilton, I'm obviously rooting for you. I do like Russell now. I had like a little thing last season where we weren't really bezzy mates, but he's back in the good books now. I like the feisty Karen energy. Like even today, when he's like 8 seconds and increasing the gap to the club, he's like, I really think we should switch the car. I'm right up Lewis's arsehole right now. Maybe you could rotate us, and then I promise I won't go 5 seconds ahead. And it's like, Russell, we don't need, that's long. We don't need to do that. You literally got more than a 5 second gap, and you're increasing it. But yeah, aside from that, because almost what happened is Hamilton came in. It's like, oh, you put on the slicks, and he came in before Russell, and then it was like, no, we do have to rain. It is raining. We do have to go on the intermediates. They need to come back in. So it meant Russell, who stayed out the whole time, he benefits from this quite a lot. So you have to give him credit for it, I guess. But he loves the strategy of staying out and just waiting. And then he usually drops from safety car rain or something. Happened again. And I was like, that was the one thing that probably would have made me biased kind of wise, but drop it down. But he was just kind of like, I think it meant Hamilton was 1 place or 2 places behind him, maybe, which was annoying. Like he wasn't there, and he should have been in front of him basically. So Russell gained from that scenario, from only having to pit once, I guess, for the intermediates, whereas Hamilton pitted twice, once for another pair of slicks and then 4 intermediates. And then I was like, oh no, but then within the space of nowhere, I watched on like the fucking side shit where like the order is, and it's like, oh, Russell just fell down. He goes off the side thing, Hamilton can gain, and all of a sudden Hamilton's pushing for third. He could have got third. He was like right up Ocon towards the end of the lap. Ocon did fairly well, I suppose. I've got to give him credit to keep him away. And ultimately Hamilton ended up finishing like a second behind. So it's still pretty close, but like it was touch and go. Just didn't have enough to get past Ocon in the end though. I also do kind of like that, I like Tsunoda, but I did kind of like the fact he didn't finish in the points, just because it's becoming a massacre, like the whole De Vries thing. And De Vries, he didn't get any points today, but he finished above Tsunoda, which he should be happy about. He didn't make any stupid errors. Tsunoda was falling back, and he kept out of any damage, and especially through how close those cars were at that point, and especially in the rain, where I thought off of prior races of the season, I would have said that's De Vries fuck up territory, but he did pretty well. I liked to see Norris and Piastri get some overtakes, both getting the points. I like that. Piastri's half decent, he's basically just like a slightly younger Norris who's only going to improve, because right now it's not really a matter of anything you can do I can do better, but it's more like anything you can do I'll tag along just behind, which is what McLaren basically needed, because maybe at this stage they don't maybe massively want a whole anything you can do I can do better, where it's like we're both like 1 week I'm beating you, then you're beating you, we're having like this team battle type thing. Right now it's very civil, like how Norris is getting the best out of the car he can get, and then Piastri's usually just the place right behind him. So it's like, it's very civil, it's good, they're getting the points that they can get with the shit car. They have the shitbox of a car. This livery, by the way, though. Oh, wow. That was a nice livery. Oh, my God. McLaren and Monaco liveries, they're a match made in heaven in recent years. Last year's one was really nice. I'm not going to make a decision which one was nicer, because they need to sit next to each other, but both, both were bien. Both were très bien. But yeah, so I do like that. It's nice to see Piastri get a couple results where he just fully gets let off the leash and he just goes crazy, because we know he's got that in him. But I kind of like he's just behind. And yeah, was there anything else in the race? I mean, Verstappen won it by a fucking country mile. Alonso was second, pretty boring. Ocon got his podium. If you're an Ocon stan, you're out there, you're fucking loving it. Hamilton was fourth. I guess Russell came home fifth. Yeah, then it would have been Leclerc, Sainz or maybe someone else than Sainz. I know that Norris and Piastri brought home the points after that. Then I think it was like Bottas in 11th. Then I think it was De Vries in 12th. I think, oh my God, and fucking, I think, what's his name? Canadian wizard. Don't know why I called him a wizard. Canadian boy. Lance Stroll. Brad. He was he DNF'd. He was on fucking bumper cars this race. He was just fucking. He was the opposite of on. He was like over being on rails. He was like when people drive on GTA and they use the wall to turn. That was Lance Stroll today. It wasn't today. Whenever the race was. But yeah. So yeah, I think it was a decent race for Monaco, and I think it's the best you can hope for. You know, it had its celebrities, it had its rain, had some fun towards the end. There, you had to sit there and wait for it, but it did come, which is all you can ask for. And considering it's usually celebrities when they're at these events, you're looking for some cringe, but this was just a good, nice, wholesome time. You had Neymar and people there just sort of hugging about, and it's sort of just like, it was good vibes. So yeah, in terms of the hard, medium, soft awards, the hard award I'd give to, who based off qualifying alone, I think you have to give it to Verstappen. That was a throbbing performance. That was just sort of, oh yeah, aroused. So I think he has to get the hard award. In the race, I don't think anyone really drove in a way that was like hard as fuck boy. But that was, I hate that I said that. But that was I think over the course of the weekend I'll give it to Verstappen. And even if he came last, maybe not if he came last, but even if he didn't win, I would have probably still given it to him just because of, you can't deny he was 2 attempts down and he made up in the final sector in a way that was exhilarating for a lot of people, whether they liked him or not. Medium award, he was just kind of mid. Sonoda fell back in a crazy way, but that's not really mid. He was just kind of went under the radar and just was kind of meh. Maybe Sainz. He had a weird thing that he was arguing with his team. I get this is like a very Sainz award. It seems to be in this season, and maybe the back end of the last season. But just sort of being mid, just sort of not challenging enough, or being in it enough, or having enough of a conversation, being in no man's land too much. And he was kind of whining on the radio. Why did you do this? We could have done that. You didn't let me do this. Just kind of like, compared to a Sainz I've seen at Monaco, maybe last year, the year before, where he was like, just being the guy in the chair, making the right decisions, challenging, being in a good space, actually having an impact on the race. He just kind of felt so like passive. I don't know. I'll give it Sainz. And then soft, he was floppy as hell. He was floppy disk. I mean, you'd probably go Stroll then for soft, wouldn't you? Just, you know what? Actually, I might go Perez. Like, he was at the back. He was trying different stuff. He was fucking crashing out in qualifying. He was bumping around here. And it's like, you're Mr. Street Circuit. You're Mr. This, you're Mr. That. Well, today, you're Mr. Soft. I'm giving it Perez. But Stroll was DNF'd. I don't care. I expect it of Stroll to a certain extent. Perez, maybe I've got a slight bit of bias against Perez as well, I'll be honest. But Perez, you're soft, son. Doughy. Anyway. We are lucky enough to actually not be fucking depraved of a race, having to wait a week and then getting it again. We've got a race next week. It is Spain, Catalonia, which is, known for being kind of fucking boring. No overtakes. Why do we fucking have tracks where it's not good for overtaking? That's the one thing about Formula 1. For all this stuff like, let's make the car smaller and this and that, and let's try and improve this better races, why do we actively have tracks that are specifically said to not be good for overtakes? Monaco is an exception. That's I get why we have Monaco, and I agree with having Monaco. But tracks like Catalonia, what do we have stuff historically? Get it out of here. That's the one thing I don't get, and it's all the time. I remember like with the first season I watched, it was like 6 races in a row. It felt like this track not typically one good for overtakes. Why? What are we doing? Who's designing? I don't get it. But yeah, it is Spain, but I'll take it. Next week, we look forward to that. Come on, my lads. Norris, Lewis, always. Tom Cruise and Holland's there. Lewis, Norris, Albon, they're my current guys. And go forth. I got a couple others, but they're the current ones. Go forth. This was Horizon. We got Horizon going to the end. I don't know what number this was, but I'll see you next week for Catalunya.